Hey, what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of April 20th, 2017. I am Joe Fidua.
And I am Chris Chavez.
Ashley is sick this week. She has no voice, so everyone send their thoughts to Ashley so she's better by the next podcast.
I feel like we haven't seen her in forever.
I know.
Like a full month.
So we'll have to hold down the fort again. But that's okay because both Chris and I have the Galaxy S8.
We got a lot to talk about.
The hot new, the hot new phone. I have the S8 Plus. Chris has both models. Just got them yesterday, so we can talk about those a little bit. Chris, this is I can't remember. Did you check these out earlier this year at an event or something?
No, I did. This is my first time like holding them, touching them, or anything. So that's why I was kind of like, actually kind of giddy when I got the boxes came from FedEx or whatever. I was like, oh wow, this is exciting. It's weird because like no matter how long I feel like I've done this, I still get that little butterflies when like opening the box and powering it on for the first time. And then Samsung just gives you a swift kick to the nuts.
I know, like
TouchWiz.
They really kill that excitement because it takes forever to set up a Samsung phone. Oh my god!
Man. I almost forgot because I feel like when talking about skins and UIs and stuff, like every phone has some type of skin or UI, but like I forget how heavy Samsung's is now and how many services they have and you can sign into, and then it's just so much different. And I've been spoiled because I've been using like the Moto G Plus and the Moto Z and the Pixel, and it's just like going back to like a heavily skinned phone. It's like what is all this other stuff? So much stuff.
I mean, I came from the G6 and like, you know, that's a sort of a skin phone, but the setup of the G6 is pretty painless compared to the Galaxy S8.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to have like a LG account or something, you know, like.
I think they offer all that stuff, like, you know, like the LG backup. I think Huawei has like a Huawei backup, but like
they don't throw it in your face all at once.
It's pushed onto you right during that initial setup. I feel like I never really like none of that stuff really bothers me on other phones, but on Samsung, I just feel like there was like all these things that just kept sign in, check out this, Samsung Pay, blah blah blah, And it's like, just let me get into the phone. I want to take some pictures or something. Like,
it's weird. This time it asked me like what Samsung apps I wanted to install, like calculator. Did you get that?
I don't remember. I actually have a fresh device, the S8 Plus, that I'm kind of saving so I can go through it in detail, like the whole setup process. But
anyway, enough about the setup process.
I could go on for days about that.
Yeah. What are your impressions of the phone so far?
It's really pretty. Pictures, I guess they don't really, maybe they do it justice. It's just a really pretty phone, and I think a lot of people are becoming sort of enthralled in that, or getting caught up in the fact that it's just so pretty. But it does feel it's so much easier to hold than the S7 Edge Plus. Was it called, or was it just called the S7 Edge last year? The S7 Edge. Because the frame on the sides is like really flat. Last year's frame like stuck out, and it made it really hard to get like a good grip.
You never had the Note 7, did you?
The Note 7, no. And I feel like they kind of fixed it with that one, because in the pictures I would see the Note 7. I was like, I think they kind of fixed it.
Yeah, this phone pretty much feels exactly like the Note 7 did.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice. And the edges, I mean, they don't bother me at all. Everything is just so like, it's such a well-built phone. It's so easy just to get caught up in that, and I kind of really dig it.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I really do not like how it feels. Like I already have a case on it.
Why?
It's so slimy. Like
Oh yeah,
the glass that they have on
I
it
love that
is I
feeling.
don't like the LG G6 is glass, and like I've used plenty of glass phones before, even Samsung phones, and it just feels so
Slimy.
slimy and
That is
weird.
a really good descriptor. The back of the phone, there's no oleophobic coating, um, but it is like a slick. When you first take it off, it feels like a completely stripped glass, which I was tweeting about yesterday. But after a while, like you got to wear down that weird coating that like when you take off the. I guess there's like residue when you take off the little protective plastic or whatever, but then it becomes really slimy, like you said, and it's not oleophobic, so everything just sticks to that glass, and then
Yeah,
like
you can just look at it and give it a fingerprint.
I I don't even usually. I always joke around that I don't have fingerprints, and that's just on oleophobic displays and stuff because I mean they're designed that way, and I can touch them all day and nothing gets all fingerprinty and goopy. But the back, I mean, I can touch it and it's just it's pretty bad. The camera is oleophobic, which is a really good thing because the fingerprint
Yes, it is.
sensor placed in it is awful. Like I thought people were making a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah.
It is awful. I was fingering my phone yesterday, and I thought I was pressing the fingerprint sensor.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here rubbing it, and I'm like, "Come on, baby, come on!" And it's just
I
like,
can't remember
"Oh
what side
man,
it's on.
yeah, it's so awful." And I'm sure eventually it'll become muscle memory or something, but it's the fact that I mean, like I have to reach so far to hit it, and like I prop my phone up with my pinky because I'm proper like that. Uh, like I have to reach up so far, overextend my finger over the
Yeah.
camera. No matter what, you're gonna be hitting the camera. Like it's such an awful idea. Awful,
And
awful,
yeah,
awful.
are you holding the S8 Plus right now or the S8?
S8.
Okay. So yeah, this is me holding the S8 Plus. Got my pinky under it like I usually hold it.
Yeah,
Not
you're
even
not
close.
gonna. You're gonna have
Not
to
even close. And I'm
shimmy.
6'4". I have gigantic hands. Not even close.
Not even close. Like, how are regular people supposed to do this? So, like, basically, what somebody told me was that they're not even using it at all as far as screen locking goes. And it's activated, of course, but that's not why they're using it. But it's basically just for authentication stuff like payments, mobile payments,
Yeah.
authorizing Google Play Store purchases or Android Pay or Samsung Pay. But they're not really. It's not convenient enough to unlock your phone with it, and
Have
that's
you set up the iris scanner?
not the iris scanner, but the face unlock. And
Okay.
the face unlock is insanely quick.
I
It's
just set up the iris scanner earlier today. I was like, I'm gonna try that since the fingerprint scanner is so bad.
do you have to
I
hold it?
heard that the iris is a little bit faster than the face. No, you can hold like this right here. Like here, I'll show you how fast it is. So I
Oh,
have it set up so it doesn't scan my eye until I swipe up on the screen. So here, I'm gonna swipe up right now. Unlocked. So it was maybe like a second,
yeah, like
half a
a
second.
one and a half maybe. That's pretty good. I like the face unlock is I feel like it's almost just as quick. If I let's try me. If I unlock it, looking, unlocked already. Like that was
Yeah, pretty much the same amount of time. That's pretty good.
crazy quick. I was showing, and that's kind of I feel like it's not people don't talk about it enough, but like I feel like that's as big of an advancement as the fingerprint scanner was when those first were introduced on Android devices. Like that
The
level
thing
of
is,
convenience
though,
is
face
great.
unlock is not new. Is not a new advancement.
It's just so much better. I don't know what they're doing with it, and I do see that there is some kind of like weird glowing orb. I'm guessing that's the IR sensor for your maybe just the iris, but like I don't know if you have it. See mine like
Does it shine that
incense.
red light when it does the face unlock? Because when it does
Um,
the iris one, there like right here, a bright red light comes on.
Maybe that's what it is then. Okay,
That
so
just
that was
must
just
be
the
the
iris.
iris thing.
Okay, mine looks like it's always glowing. But it's so convenient, and I really like it. I wish every Android phone had like that quick of a a face unlock because I probably use it a lot more. It's awesome.
Yeah. So fingerprint scanner bad. Have you checked
No,
out the camera
awful.
much?
Like really, really bad.
I think the
Biff unlock is
camera,
great.
I did take some test photos yesterday and I was really impressed. I thought they looked really good.
Yeah, I wasn't. I want to say I wasn't super impressed, but there was nothing that looked awful. The only phone that I feel like I was ever like, wow, what has been the Pixel, and then now
Yeah.
it's sort of ruined everything. So now everything else is like, that looks good, not bad. And it's like that's
It
kind of
was
where
enough of a
it stands.
difference that I could tell immediately that the camera is better than the G6.
Ah, that's
And the
disappointing.
G6 doesn't have a bad camera. Like even in my review before I had the Galaxy S8, I wrote that the G6 camera was just all right. But yeah, using the Galaxy S8 really kind of cemented my thought on that.
Hmm. That's kind of disappointing. My friend sends me pictures because he has the G6, and he sends me pictures all the time using it, of, like his cat and stuff, and I'm like blown away. Um, ooh, I have a halo effect on mine.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The G6 doesn't have a bad camera. It's, it's kind of like that Sprint thing. All flagship cameras are good now. Like the difference between them is not huge. You're going to be happy with either one. But the Galaxy S8 does seem to be an improvement.
I love that it's incredibly. It reminds me a lot of the iPhone camera in that it's incredibly quick to like focus. You can move subjects really quickly, and it's just like boop, 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 boop. It always seems to expose properly. It's like all these weird little things that come in and make such a really nice camera experience on the phone, and which I'm not really used to, I guess, because I've been using all these other budget devices, and they can all take a good photo, but there's no kind of like consistency. But the Galaxy S6 camera is just like you take a picture, it's gonna look good.
So one of the first things I did was switch the virtual buttons around. Did you do that yet?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I will say I do love this weird like press, like the home button that's always there, the invisible home button. And you just press really hard where it would be, and it like will either wake your phone,
Yeah,
take
I
you
do
to the
like
home
that.
screen, like, and then if you're in a full screen app, you can just press it really hard and it takes you back to the home screen, like, and it works really, really solid. It feels very much like the iPhone. Um, that is an awesome feature, a really awesome feature. Because I hate the disappearing nav buttons on full screen games and apps and stuff. I think it's like the worst feature of Android, but I wish there was a way to turn that off actually. But that little force touch home button thing is great. It's really cool.
All right, so I came from the G6, so I kind of already came from a device with like really small bezels. So I feel like I'm not that blown away by it, but how do you feel about it?
I don't. This is the thing. I'm not as like enthralled as other people. I mean, because I feel like this was like my idea for so long. Like if you're gonna have software buttons, shrink the bezel so that the nav buttons would have been exactly placed where the capacitive buttons would have been, and that's how it is on this. So it's like it's not as, oh my gosh, this is great, because it really feels exactly like you reach as far down as you would like on the S7. Like they're placed exactly the same spot as they would have been on.
Yeah, that's what I was telling people with the G6 because some people are like, "Oh, the 18 by 9 display, it's weird," and I'm like, "Really? Just think of it like a phone with hardware buttons because you have a 16 by
Yep.
9 display above the virtual buttons."
It's like if hardware buttons could disappear and show extra display.
But yeah, it's cool. I do have the black model. You have the black model, so it looks awesome. I didn't get the black model with the G6, which is like one thing that I wish I would because the bezels totally look better when you have the black models.
It looks really nice. Like, I mean, I think we talked about it before, but like all the fronts of the Galaxies, they're all black, and I think that's probably to kind of create the illusion that the bezels aren't even there. So that was actually kind of an interesting move. I do also the curved edge, which there's a lot of talk about people who hate curved edge displays, which I was in that camp too, but that's coming from the S7 Edge. And then it's a lot more gradual this time around, and it doesn't curve over to the sides of the display as much. So when I'm holding it with my fingers, it's like there's still a nice little gap between the bezel there and the sides, and then it's not encroaching on the display, which is kind of cool. So it doesn't bother me as much, I guess.
I mentioned in my review, I appreciate that the Galaxy or the LG G6, the display is just flat. Like, I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the curves on the S8 are not bad at all.
Yeah, they don't really. If you hold it, my complaint was because it distorts the image and it distorts the colors on the edges, and that was with last year's model. But looking at it straight on, it looks fine. Like, there is no distortion. It's just when you tilt it to the side that you can see the edges drop off more and they get all like weird and ugly. But head on, it looks great. It just looks like it's all display. It's like it's kind of awesome. So that's just the design. The design is on the Galaxy S8. I think we can agree is pretty nice.
Yeah. So what else should we talk about?
The software experience, the TouchWiz.
Yeah. TouchWiz is like, okay, I'll say this. The actual design of the software is fine. Like, their launcher is actually pretty good. You swipe up to show the apps, just like on the Pixel, which I've gotten used to because I switched all my third-party launchers to that style. So I'm used to that. So I like that. It's the like toggles and stuff look fine. The settings is a little annoying just because they like group everything up.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I was just trying to find the battery the other day, like the battery usage chart, and I like couldn't find it for a long time.
Yeah. I was like digging around forever. Like, where the hell is it? Where is it? I absolutely hate TouchWiz because when I had the S7 Edge, it was a different version of TouchWiz back then, which is Samsung's custom UI. And that was back when they were kind of like, every year people say they're dialing back TouchWiz and they're trying to go for a more simple experience and kind of a stock Android thing. And it seemed like for a while they were going that way. They were like, I didn't disagree with their design decisions so much, but like now, once Nougat came out and then Nougat hit the S7 Edge and all that, and I was like, and then now on this phone, it's just like, it's so. I really hate TouchWiz, and for me, it's like it's almost a deal breaker. And I don't want to sound like these guys. And it's not even that I'm like a stock Android guy. Like, oh, nope, it's not stock Android. Doesn't look like. Because I like Huawei's UI and everything. It's just that this thing like pesters you. I guess like the first 24 hours with the device. So that once you got to get through all the tutorials and tips and pop-ups and notifications. My notifications was just like all these random Samsung tips.
I opened up Pokemon Go today, and like it was a flood of. Because it's like a full screen app. So it's like, this is a full screen app. You can show the navigation buttons by swiping up. I'm like, all right, get out of here. And then it's a game. So it's like, game tools. Do you want to use game tools? It's like, oh my God, just let me use the freaking app.
Yeah, like this is consuming a lot of battery. Do you want to sleep it in case it uses? You should put on batteries. You should have. It's just like nonstop. Like, leave me the F alone, dude. I can't handle, like, this is the very definition of bloat. This is like, and it's so crazy to see all these reviews on the phone so far, and I feel like nobody is talking about the hideously bloated experience. The camera app has gone completely nutsos. Like, it's so like there's like 50 different beauty features now. They have like the filters, they have these integrated apps, like they got the stupid the little character fit masks.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
see
the
those?
Snapchat. Yeah.
That's integrated. That's in the camera now. It's not an option. It's not like an additional little download you can do from the Galaxy Store. It's like it's there, and it's just like it's just so weird that everybody was so against all the Samsung bloat for so long. Then they started dialing things back a little bit, making all these extra apps and little add-ons and stuff just kind of optional. But now it's like all in there. Nobody cares. Everyone's like it's fine, and it'd be one thing if it didn't sort of crap on the performance, but the performance of the phone is one thing that I've kind of not been enjoying at all, especially considering this is a Snapdragon 835. This is the first phone with an 835 that we get to play with, and I mean, like my thing stutters. I can hit if I quickly open an app, then I swipe down my notification, it'll like follow me after the fact. Just like weird things that I'm not used to. If I double tap the recents to like quickly switch between apps, I like double tap and then I wait, and then it goes sometimes. Not all the time, but just these weird little stutters and hiccups and lags. And I've seen a lot of reviewers mention that there is sort of that TouchWiz Samsung lag. And I just feel like for me, that is like a huge priority. Like one of my things.
You don't say.
Is performance. And it's insane, and this is what's so frustrating is people will immediately dismiss the LG G6 because it's using a Snapdragon 821. When that phone, I am positive, has better performance than the Galaxy S8.
Well, I have both of them, so we can test that.
And
which I will be doing.
The craziest part is that a Moto G freaking 5 Plus with the Snapdragon 625 performs snappy, responsive, 60 frames consistently. Everything is smooth. There's no stutters. You switch between apps like in a split second. It's like pixel level speed and polishedness, and then you go to like a flagship like this with the Snapdragon 835, and you still have stutters and jitters, and I get really, really fired up about this stuff. But
it's hard to talk about the Galaxy phones sometimes because I feel like they're not made for us. You know what I mean?
I think that is incredibly true and incredibly evident just by the constant pestering of the tutorials and the, hey, your brightness is really high. Would you like to see how you can adjust? It's like for the everyday man, like, and the soccer mom, and the, like, they have to go through and explain every little thing and show you how to do like this and that. And it's like, I totally agree with you there. I feel like this really isn't the phone for Android enthusiasts, for, I don't even know. I don't want to say like tech enthusiasts, because there is a lot of awesome hardware in the phone, but I think I would be a lot happier with the LG G6, to be honest. TBH.
It's just like Samsung, they feel like they have to hold everyone's hands through the process of using the phone, and so they like make their own apps for everything. So people are like, oh, this is the Samsung calculator or whatever it is. This is the good, I'll use this one. It's the Samsung one.
Have you tried changing I tried changing my wallpaper. Just a simple change. Just simple change your wallpaper. I click the little button, and then it opens up themes, and it's like, hey, we got all these themes, and check out all these cool icons packs, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I just want to change my freaking wallpaper. And it takes me to some weird theme store, and then there's these wallpapers, and I'm like, I just want a stagnant wallpaper. I don't want the glitter that moves. Like, how do I just get rid of the glitter? I don't want the glitter. Get rid of the damn glitter. And I'm like trying to find, and it took me, I still don't even know how I got rid of it, but I don't even know how I did it. I got to go back and check. But like, just like a stupid, simple thing like changing the wallpaper was so just like, oh, check out all these cool Samsung wallpapers that we have in our theme store. And Get out of
Have
here.
you?
GTFO.
Last thing to talk about. Have you even tapped the Bixby button?
I do, but every time it asks me to like, would you like to turn it on? I just like I exit out. So I haven't even.
Yeah, I haven't set it
messed
up
with
yet
all.
either. I'm
Um,
like scared to set it up. Just like,
and I always
I don't know.
I get so confused because every time you open the camera button, the little Bixby like
Oh
dots,
yeah, it like goes.
and you're
Yeah.
like, I haven't even set up Bixby, and it's like, and it's like, hey, don't forget about the Bixby button. Press here if you want to like, and it happens every time you open the camera app. So it's just like, hey, Bixby's here. Bix, you need something? Hey, listen. Hey. It's like,
Yep. So I think we've done enough. We're probably gonna get plenty of emails from the Samsung
oh
Knights
gosh, yeah. It
after
sounds like we're
this.
really bashing the phone, but
This is like the real. This is the only place that you'll hear negative things about the Galaxy S8.
it's so, it's kind of it's almost eerie, and I don't know like if it's because people were given review devices and they're trying to keep on the up and up with Samsung or something. But it was kind of weird seeing people mention kind of really big things that are wrong with the phone, and they're like, best Android phone, 10 out of 10, best.
Well, it goes back to what I said earlier. I think people are reviewing these phones and they're doing reviews for the general consumer because that's who buys these phones. And so it's like, yeah, for the regular person, this is a good phone. There's nothing
There's
like
no
major
denying
wrong
that.
with
I
it.
would say still, and I could say this wholeheartedly, the Pixel is a better phone.
Well, that leads into our next topic because we had
If,
I reviewed the G6 last week. So as always, we update our best Android phone rankings, and the Pixel XL was our number one phone on the list, and it's still number one. The LG G6 is number two now, so that's where we placed it in our rankings. Number three is the Galaxy S7 Edge. HTC 10 still holding steady at 4, and then Galaxy S7 at 5. So from initial impressions, it seems to me like the Galaxy S8 is going to be 3 in our list because it is better. It is an improvement over last
people
year's.
are gonna rage, like you understand.
They're going to rage, but I don't know. I think that would be pretty fair. I mean, we just got the devices, so a lot can change, but that's just my quick take.
So like I feel like a lot of Samsung people would be, oh well, you're just Samsung bashing, you hate Samsung phones, which really isn't the case. I just kind of hate where they've kind of become now. Like I said, all the bloat and everything, and I'm not really like a Android purist by any means. I don't mind EMUI, and that's pretty heavy, but the performance is top notch on that. And I just sort of my dream phone would be probably a Galaxy S8 with all this hardware, but running stock Android. I think I would just poop myself.
Yeah, I don't think we're unfair to Samsung. I mean, the S7 Edge was number one on our list for a long time, and then it was number two on our list for a long time. Like, we've always been very positive about that phone.
Yeah, that was actually great. The S7 Edge was amazing back then, and then after 3 months, speed went down, the performance dropped, and it got nougat, and the UI got all.
I reviewed the Note 7 very highly before it started exploding. So we don't hate Samsung phones.
Yeah,
we hate all phones, really. We're equal opportunity haters.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where we're at with that. We hit everything equally.
All right, so that wraps up our big phone talk. A couple other stories to get to. So Snapchat trying to make themselves even more unlikable. Snapchat CEO says the app was only supposed to be for rich people at first,
which is so crazy because the app was awful. Like the first iteration, I don't think a lot of people even remember. It was the worst UI. It was like it looked like Windows like XP. It looked like Winamp on like Windows XP and stuff, and it had like this weird yellow 3D button, and it was just like you couldn't do anything. The app was absolutely awful. So this guy's smoking something. I don't know what he's talking about, but
Well, he's getting it. It's all coming to him because now Instagram stories is more popular than Snapchat stories, and couldn't be happier.
yeah, like I don't know what, I mean, I still like Instagram and I still like what they're doing because it's sort of, that's the place to go for that stuff. And Facebook copying and putting stories on everything. We joked around about that last week, but like,
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the, I guess, the feel. And it's not something that you can even, like, he can't patent it. He can't, copyright it. It's just like, it's so easy to take that same idea that everything that Snapchat's doing and just put it in other apps and stuff. And it's like,
Instagram, like, we're at the point now where Instagram literally has everything from Snapchat except the like fancy AR lenses and stuff.
Yeah.
Because just last week they added you can pin stickers to stuff in videos.
Oh, jeez.
So like, I mean, they are slowly taking every single thing.
They don't like, and then there's no, I'm gonna say there's no discover thing, but I guess yeah, they don't really have that. That's one thing Snapchat's got going for it is all the like websites and Cosmo.
Yeah,
and
I kind of wonder though how much people actually use that.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that like right now, like you were saying, they don't really have all this cool 3D masks and stuff. But Facebook announced earlier this week, they've like opened up. They have like the world's first augmented reality camera platform. They're opening up for developers, and you're going to see these crazy 3D masks and stuff inside of like Facebook Messenger and the Facebook app.
That's actually, well, okay, I forget sometimes I use the beta version, but they've had that in Messenger for a while.
Yeah, Messenger, masks. They've had a couple of them. It's always kind of sprinkled, and I don't know, they're not really that great, I feel like. I always loved Snapchat's 3D masks and stuff. Like
they're still like really fun.
Yeah, animated really well. They're fun and cool, and then like Facebook just doesn't really get it, and they're just like, well, just throw anything on there, put a stupid like birthday hat on them, and it's like it's not about that. Like Snapchat,
it's about like Snapchat had one recently that was like a meerkat.
Oh, what?
I'm sure you saw that one.
Maybe I don't.
It was so just weird, and that's like what the Snapchat ones are good because they're weird.
Yeah, and Snapchat announced the 3D, like now you can put it on instead of just selfies for it, now you can go on your rear camera and you can pin these crazy little cute 3D emoji things. They all look really awesome and cool. And I just feel like Snapchat, I mean, Facebook, they can steal the ideas, but it seems so generic when they do it. But it's just a matter of time before Instagram adds all that stuff too, and
when they do, it'll work 10 times better.
But like I was saying on Twitter, it's like I don't even care. Snapchat's adding all this crazy stuff, but like, can they just increase the quality of photos? Like not by a ton. I don't want original resolution. Just like give me 1080p, like full 1080p photos, and maybe like 720p video or something. Just something better than that trash they have now. Like it's so awful now. And like now we have
terrible.
Like I could see it. The reason why back in the day when it was only 3G and 4G was just taken off, but like now we're moving past 4G. T-Mobile's got like this 500 megabits network that they're rolling out that it's starting to like. We can do it. We can do it. Snapchat, just give us better quality. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So I haven't noticed this on mine, but apparently some Galaxy S users had a red tint on their display.
Oh,
have you had that on yours?
I have not noticed this. Apparently, it's only really noticeable. I think mine might have the pinkish hue. But that's kind of like how I tune my display anyway. Like if I hold it up to like my laptop, my MacBook Retina, the whites on my MacBook Retina are kind of pinkish too. So like I think that's how it's kind of supposed to be. But some people are really mad about it. They're like, no, I want the yellow. This is awful, Samsung. Quality control, blah, blah. And when the photos I've seen of it, where someone had a yellow display and the pink one, when you hold them and you're looking at them face forward, like head on, you can't even tell the difference. It's just when you start angling them and then you see the colors kind of change a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of see it, but it's one of those things you're not going to notice unless you're holding it up to like something else that's like a different hue of white or something. But yeah, I'm not even concerned about that the least bit. But some people are flipping out.
Yep. Tint gate.
Yeah, the next gate. Tint gate.
LG V30, there's rumors it's going to have a curved OLED display. I don't really care about the curved part, but if LG is going to switch over to OLED, I would be very happy about that because it's like the one thing I would change about the G6. The display looks fine, it looks really nice. I am just an AMOLED guy because I look at my phone a lot in bed and I really appreciate the dark blacks of AMOLED. So
I'm
just a
probably
personal thing.
the only person that likes LCD.
Yeah, and like I always try to mention that in my reviews, and a lot of people were commenting on it in my G6 review. Some people are like, it's not a personal preference. AMOLED is actually better. Like they wanted me to downgrade my rating because it had LCD. It's like, no. I don't like LCD, but it's a perfectly good display.
Has anybody like the iPhones all have LCD and stuff, and nobody has ever talked trash on a single iPhone display. No one's ever said, "Oh, it looks good except for that display." Like they're not only are they LCD, they're like incredibly like 720p on the regular one and stuff. Like they're low res technically, but yeah, nobody ever says crap about them because they do it so well. Like my monitor, my laptop, it's Retina, it's LCD. Like I prefer LCD. That's all I'm gonna say.
Android Pay gets PayPal integration soon. That's pretty cool. I've still only used Android Pay one time, so
I was like all aboard it for a while, and then something happened where like I changed one of my bank cards, and then like my new bank card came in, and then it wasn't compatible with Chase, and then Chase finally jumped on board, and then I tried adding it, but they were like, you got to call Chase to like authorize, and I'm like, screw it, I'm done. I can't. So this is huge news for me because I use PayPal for everything, so I'm like, this is great. I can just use that from now on. So screw you, Chase.
Last little bit of news: HTC announced an announcement, pretty much. May 16th, we're gonna hear more about the HTC U, aka HTC Ocean, and it's gonna have this weird, like pressure-sensitive edges.
Squeezy.
So you like literally squeeze the phone to do things. That's going to be the gimmick.
That's the killer feature, guys.
Yeah.
This is where we've come.
It could be cool. I'm going to reserve judgment until we see it. But it is interesting sounding for sure. All right. So that wraps up our quick news for this week. We're going to change things up and read an email before we do our wins and fails.
Oh.
We got an email from... God, I asked this guy literally before the podcast how to say his name, and I forgot already. Jerry.
Oh, that's easy.
He's the Gary or Jerry, and I always forget because it's spelled with a G. But Jerry. So this email's from Jerry, and he said, I was reading Andrew's article on Huawei's CEO downplaying the importance of smartwatches, and I have to say I've been echoing similar comments for a while now. I just don't see smartwatches as anything more than a luxury gadget. To me, they are nowhere near as important as smartphones and are just not worth the prices they demand. Some are making it seem like retrieving your phone from your pocket or bag is a grueling task, and I guess this is where luxury gadgets come into play. What do you folks think? Are smartwatches simply a luxury gadget, or are they just as important as a smartphone?
Nowhere near as important as a smartphone. I don't kind of agree with the whole... Like everyone's trying to put a SIM chip in them, 4G LTE, like cellular connectivity. Bleh, that doesn't matter to me. But I do think that they're still, I guess it is a luxury, but it's like they're really nice if the technology was there.
It's totally a luxury.
If we had 3 to 4 day battery life, if they all had NFC chips, if you could place and make calls on them, stuff like that, that would be really cool. But we're just kind of not there yet, so it's still sort of the early stages of it, I feel like. But I mean, that's kind of the point of everything, right? Like, oh, why have a fingerprint scanner? You can just draw your password. And it's like, well, I don't want to spend a second, an extra 2 seconds drawing a password or typing it in when I can use my finger. Like, everything is a luxury, but it's like all these things slowly add up to it's nicer. It's to not have to pull your phone out if you're doing something with your hands and you get a notification just to look at your wrist and be like, oh, it's so and so. I don't need to address that right now. Like, once you experience it, I feel like you can appreciate it a little bit more. But other than that, it's just kind of like, I mean, I guess it's a luxury, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like
Doesn't mean it's useless.
There's like a line something has to cross to move from luxury to useful, and like everyone's different. For me, for example, I like having a smartwatch, but if it's a smartwatch that I have to charge every night, it's just a luxury that I don't need, and I end up not using it. But if it's like a Pebble that I can use for like a week, then it kind of crosses that line into useful.
Now it's
and
useful.
I'm like, I can use that now. So it's different for everyone. It's not for everyone, and that's why a lot of these companies are having a hard time selling a lot of smartwatches.
Yeah. And then they're trying to make them do kind of everything, hoping that like it'll catch on like with the wider audience and stuff. And they'll, it seems like it's really hard for them to figure out. Like, it isn't for everyone. So like Huawei CEO's like, yeah, I don't understand why everyone wants a smartwatch, why we're even making one, but apparently these are a thing. So
yep. All right. So thanks, Jerry, for the question. If anyone else wants to send us questions, our address is podcast@mobileroar.com. So wins and fails for the week. I just realized that I forgot to find a win, but I do have a fail, and that is Samsung blocked the Bixby button remapping.
That is just downright dirty.
I think you recommended the app on our last episode that could remap it. And now it don't work anymore.
Yeah, they're like, what are you going to do? Not buy the phone? Yeah, right.
And see, to me, this is one of those things. I think I talked about it last week about how, like, LG, they got rid of the system UI tuner. Mm-hmm. And it really bugs me when companies remove these things, because how many people
exactly
how many people were going to actually remap that button? So few people. And so just leaving it, letting people do that is kind of like a nice gesture to a very small amount of people who actually would have done it. And removing it is just like a slap in the face.
Yeah, I honestly thought that they would have, before like the S8 even came out, I honestly thought that there would have been an option to remap it just in the settings of, I mean, maybe I was just naive, but I really thought like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm sure they'll even let you customize that Bixby button and use it for something else, but nope. And then third-party apps, they went as far as blocking them. So that's like effed up. So messed up.
Yeah. All right. So I don't have a win, but maybe I'll think of one while Chris goes.
I got a double fail.
Yeah. We're totally just like in a bad mood on this episode, ragging on the Galaxy S8. All we have is fails.
So this is such a negative podcast. The $400 juicer. There's this product that I guess came out, I think it was introduced a year ago at CES or something. It's like supposed to be the what is it? The Keurig of juicers. Because Keurig is so hot, someone's like, we got to do that, but we got to do it with juice. But apparently they never really thought past that, and like, why?
Yeah.
So it's like a machine, and it was originally $700 when it was first introduced, and it dropped to like $600, and then now they're like trying to get rid of it at $400. But it's just a machine you put in a pouch that's filled with juice, and it looks like an IV bag. You put it in there, snap it into place, close the door, and the machine, literally all it does is squeeze the bag and shoots it out into the cup.
They did say, though, they said that the bag had fruit in it. Like, not just juice, but like actually...
Like whole fruit, so it's kind of doing something in there?
Yeah, because in the video, They say that it has like 4 tons of pressing power.
Yeah. Like it's supposed to be really strong or something, but yeah, whatever. So I don't think that it's still. I think it's still just like a very liquid. It's like a smoothie.
Yeah, it totally is.
And then there's some kind of filter that probably like keeps a lot of the pulp out or like whatever's the fruit that's in there. So somebody, I think it was like Business Insider or someone, they were testing it out and they're like, let me see if I could just squeeze this bag myself. The person just gets the bag and just like you're milking a cow, squeezes the bag into a cup. And it's not really as effective because it's actually pretty tough to do. So you got to put a lot of effort into it. But it's just so the whole freaking machine is pointless. It's a bag.
It really is. Like I could probably rant about this machine for an entire podcast.
Just put it in a plastic bottle.
Absolutely no purpose.
Like, you want to talk about luxuries? You want to talk about being lazy?
Yes, that is a luxury. But actually, it's not even a luxury because if you wanted juice, just buy a thing of juice
Who's that lazy that they're like, I don't want to pour my own juice. I want a machine that squeezes it from a bag. Yeah. Like I don't know, man. And I can't think of, this went into production. They have like units. It's being sold. I went on Facebook and I saw an ad pop up for it, probably because I was searching it on Google, but now it's like, this is a real thing. And then somewhere down this whole line, all this investors pouring money into this thing and all these brilliant minds, nobody thought to say, why? Like what? Why not just buy a bottle of juice? Like there wasn't one guy that was just like, hey, why don't we just buy a bottle of juice?
I know. No one was like, who is this for? Well, it's for people who are too lazy to use a real juicer, but yet they want to spend more than just buying a thing of apple juice from the grocery store.
I cannot possibly, I just can't even, I don't know. It's such a huge fail. And then my other fail, which is kind of an interesting story that popped up, was so Coachella was last weekend. And it's like a big music festival for people that don't know. And it's like all the girls go wild and dress up.
Everybody dresses weird.
I feel like it's like a little fun thing to do. But whatever. Girls go, guys go, they go and listen to music and cool bands and stuff. But during the festival, some dude stole like 100 smartphones. So like when you're in a festival atmosphere and you're in a concert and everyone's pushing against each other and these girls have their phones in their back pockets, maybe a dude has it in his phone, whatever. It's so easy to just go around and you're just pretend like you're shoving around with everyone else and just jack people's phones. So the dude, they caught him. Someone used like the Find My iPhone feature. And the dude, I don't know what it is about criminals, but the guy looked sleazy as F. Like he looked like your stereotypical criminal. But tons of phones. Like they had a whole table of all these phones that the guy was just stealing and throwing them in the backpack or something. And it was like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's everybody, if you don't already, should know how to find a lost or stolen Android phone. And we have a great post for you guys on Phandroid.com to show you exactly how to do it. So
I thought of a win. My win is going to be the Samsung box that I got. I don't know if any of you saw my unboxing or some of the other unboxings on the web, but Samsung sent a bunch of reviewers like a huge, massive box of stuff. So along with the Galaxy S8 Plus, I got these headphones I'm wearing right now, which are the Bluetooth Level On Pro. And then I got the new Gear VR, which has like the remote. First time I've ever been able to try Gear VR. This is a remote, but it works pretty well. And the remote is super handy. I can't imagine using it without it.
People are, that was the worst part about using it. You had to use like a D-pad to like move things around or look at things to select. Like it was just, you need a little controller.
And these headphones are really good. I've talked about Bluetooth headphones before on the podcast, and these do not have that hissing sound that I mentioned.
Oh, so, nice.
Pretty nice.
Maybe it's. Did you pair them up with your S8?
I've paired them up with a couple different devices. They're paired to my computer right now. Yeah.
I was going to say maybe it was just a Bluetooth 5.0 thing, because the Galaxy. Well,
my computer doesn't even have Bluetooth. I have a Bluetooth dongle that I literally bought like 5 years ago. And so that's definitely not Bluetooth 5.0.
I have a win now too.
Okay.
It's this little guy right here. What's that?
What is that?
It's a selfie stick.
What?
Huawei sent me that Honor selfie stick that we took a look at back when the Honor 6X was announced. I guess it's a Huawei's. This thing is like sturdy,
What does
high
it do?
quality.
Like what's
so
special about it?
Well, it's a normal selfie stick, but it's very high quality and nice, which I appreciate because everything else is just like those telescopic, like an antenna arms.
Yeah, like this one right here.
Those are the ones. Look so ghetto. This one is so like premium and nice looking and feeling. You got the little button here, and you attach your phone, and it's got these big rubber, nice pads. But it also doubles as a tripod.
Oh, that's neat.
So if you're going someplace and you want to take a cute selfie, but then you're like, I don't want to use the arm, you can still prop it up on something on a table or
set it up to do some sweet time lapses.
Oh, that's true. With all the cool new smartphone features that we're getting now. And then so then you can set it up like that. And then it like folds up super nice and compact. You can fit it in a purse or handbag or backpack. Super nice. I'm actually really surprised. I don't know the price yet because I haven't really looked into it, but when the Huawei person asked me, like, would you like to check it out, reviewing it? I was like, hell yeah. Super.
I literally only buy selfie sticks to cannibalize them because I take the phone holder part like this and I put it on a tripod because they have the standard, tripod mount size.
I bought one of those.
Then you can put your phone on a tripod.
Yeah, I have the little, and it comes with a little thread and stuff. You can buy them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap, but like I always lose them. I bought so many of them, but yeah. So that's my win. Not totally negative.
All right, cool. I'm glad we turned that around. App picks. My app pick is going to be called InstaSwipe. Instagram recently added galleries, so you can upload like multiple pictures to the same post. And this app called InstaSwipe lets you take a panorama photo, and it will cut it up into however many pictures you want, so 2, 3, or 4, whatever. And then it cuts it up perfectly so that when you put them in a gallery and then you swipe through it, it's like they're like seamlessly connected. So it looks like you are actually just panning through a panorama.
I was like literally thinking about that the other day, and I was like, man, that's great. That's
great,
dude.
There's a couple apps that do it. InstaSwipe is the one that I tried, and it worked pretty well. And it's free, so check it out. Do you have an app pick, Chris?
I'm trying to look through all the stuff I installed recently. I don't have an app pick. Apparently.
I'll do a second one.
Oh, cool.
There's a game called the Wiki game. And everyone is like, gone on Wikipedia to look for something, and then you end up like 50 pages later on some random thing because you entered the wormhole. This game makes that into a game. So it'll say you start on this page and your goal is to get to this page, and you have to see how many pages it takes for you to connect those two pages. So you just kind of scroll through the pages looking for something that might get you to that next thing. Just a fun game, and you can learn about stuff while reading Wikipedia while you play.
That's kind of cool. That sounds awesome.
All right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up. If you want, like I said, if you want to send us emails, our address is podcast@mobileroar.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter at mobileroarcast. And the audio version is available on Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, iTunes, whatever you use. We're there. And then we are on Twitter at GamerCore, at Overlord Roar, at Tall Schmo. We'll see you all. Oh, and thanks everyone for joining in with us in the live chat today. Appreciate that. We'll see you all next time. Later.